Hello. So I'm going to go over what content curation means in social media and why you should curate content, and stick around to find out 3 ways to curate content for social media. So first, Sproutsocial describes content curation as filtering through all of the interesting content pieces across the web and the internet to find the best news article, videos, and infographics for your social channels. And to be even more clear and specific, it is usually industry related, niche related, so that it is relevant to things that your audience would find interesting. So for example, I might share new things about Instagram. For example, currently the ability to use a link sticker, or the fact that Instagram is going to be able to go back to the chronological feed. You're going to be able to have the ability to do that. So I might share an article from someone who talks about this, share a video from someone who talks about this to my social media platforms. As a social media manager and consultant, I could share information and article and updates from other news and resources with this information. Now, why would I do this? A really good explanation comes from 𝘵𝘰𝘰𝘭𝘴.com. And they say that if you're curating content well, you also add your own value to it, which can mean your own commentary, and it makes it valuable to your audience. And you're also positioning yourself as a thought leader. Obviously, a huge benefit is it takes less time. It takes far less time to curate valuable content than to actually create the content yourself. And if you are a busy entrepreneur or solopreneur, we know how long it takes to create content. So being able to share valuable content from another source helps you save time, and it still helps you position yourself as an expert and a thought leader. It also keeps your page active and engaging, and it makes you well-rounded, giving a well-rounded view of your industry, and it's all because of you. It also breaks up the monotony of talking just about you and your business, which of course that always is helpful in the conversation, or it can be. So now that you know what it is and why it's useful, I'm going to give you 3 ways to curate content for your social media. One is sharing industry-related articles, videos, and news. And you're usually going to find this content off of social media. It could be from a YouTube channel. It could be from a blog or news channel. You can use industry websites that you follow, industry resources that you follow, to help you get an idea of the updates and news and different pieces of valuable information or tips that you can share that your audience would be relevant. I do recommend that you do tag the source and your post to give credit, and also notify them that you have found their information useful and you've shared it. Now, user-generated content, I will also consider content curation. And what that looks like is a client sharing some sort of testimonial of your product or service, or even showing them using your product or service successfully. This is a great piece of content because it honors the person who made it. And I've even heard people say they feel so special and honored when the company does share their post. Now, I recommend asking for permission. Sometimes companies don't, but it's always good practice to ask for permission to reshare their content. And it can be simply just as posting right underneath of the post, or sharing the post via Messenger and asking if you can reuse the content. And finally, last, you can simply reshare other people's content on social media. Now, some people say not to do this, but the choice is ultimately yours. I personally do like resharing other people's content, especially when it is engaging and valuable. Some platforms make it easier to reshare than others. Think of a retweet on LinkedIn. Versus Instagram, they don't have an option to reshare posts on your feed. So that's where it can really become tricky. And that's the number one place where I've heard differing opinions about whether you can actually share or not. If you think about Facebook, even Facebook has a share button. So I think it's okay to share content. I think it can be great, but you want to make sure that you're doing it in a way that follows the terms of service. So just giving an idea for Instagram's current terms of service, it says you can't post someone else's private or confidential information without their permission, or anything that violates someone's rights or intellectual property, or using someone else's work except under, certain exceptions. So you have to ensure that you've obtained all of the necessary rights. So just asking if you can use the content, if you can repost their content, is a great step. And you can do that simply by commenting under the post to ask for permission to reshare, or you can send them a message privately with the post for easy reference to ask them if you can reshare. If you don't get a response, that's your clue. But most of the time, people will say absolutely no problem. Follow me for more social media tips for your business.